front pages of your newspaper to the in front of your television screen. Once again, welcome to the world of media. And indeed, it is the headliner. My name is Monica Chanda.
And my name is Curtly Gwindi. Yes, indeed, it's such a pleasure to be back on your screens with this exclusive program that takes a look at all the headlines that make sense, all the headlines that are up for debate. And today you will join us as we unravel the complexities, emotions, as well as a societal shift surrounding the groundbreaking development of the headliner, your prime destination for unraveling the past, deciphering the present, as well as forecasting the future. Let's delve into the heart of this extraordinary moment together. Monica, before we do that, I must say it's good to be back.
Well, it certainly is good to have you back. Where have you been? We've been trying to headline as a duo, and then you decided to just zoom away.
Absolutely.
But it's good to have you back.
Thank you so much. And we are not alone on this set. We are joined by a veteran journalist who is, of course, going to delve into our headline. Monica, what are we looking at today?
Well, today we embark on a story, one of those stories that made the waves this week. It's all about trending news, after all, on the headliner. And guess what? Landscape of tradition evolves. It is certainly. So does the very fabric of our society. So you heard it right. We will be looking at that topical issue, the Lobola issue. So the Marriage Act, and get to have an appreciation of what exactly are people talking about? Why are people so disgruntled? And why are other sections of society excited about it? So we do have the practice of Lobola payment and, of course, marriage customs now stepping into a new era. And we do have a guest who will be joining us in the second segment, but he's here with us. And he is a veteran journalist. Help us welcome Byron Mutingwende.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be on this exciting program. Thank you.
Well, Byron, first and foremost, I know we will be getting deeper into the conversation today. What's your take on mandatory or not mandatory Lobola practice?
No, Lobola is a custom that has been practiced in Zimbabwe and other Southern African countries for many years. And in Zimbabwe, I think trying to regulate this practice through the law is a welcome development. But you know, customary marriage is the one which made it mandatory to pay Lobola. But there's also this issue about the civil union, which does not even allow also, it's optional under the civil union to pay Lobola or not.
All right. I suppose we will be touching more in the second segment with Byron, but let's get straight into some of those headlines. And currently we have quite a number of stories. As you well know, we always want to take our viewers through the topical and trending stories of the week. So let's start first and foremost. The Daily News of Thursday tagged a headline, budget to focus on poor citizens. Mtuli says as life gets harder. So certainly we are anticipating the budget presentation 2024 and the Honourable Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, that's Honourable Professor Mtuli will be presenting his budget. And we know there is a lot of anticipation as well as expectations from various sectors of the society, including us, the media.
The media does have a lot to say, and most definitely the Minister of Finance also said authorities would continue to pursue policies that endanger the use of the under pressure Zimbabwe dollar. Now we want to know your views and opinions with that particular discrepancy that speaks to the lines between the Zimbabwe dollar as well as the US dollar. And he speaks about this while also endeavoring to contain the price hikes of basic goods. Now the everyday Zimbabwean has a lot to do with the commodities, Monica, and it's quite important that some conversation is made around that, especially in anticipation of the national budget, which is coming. I think many markets are also going to be able to elevate, some also delve down. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I have so much thoughts around that. After all, I am a journalist who actually covers a lot of business issues, the economy to be precise. But we are headlining today and we have more stories. The Newsday, we are to blame for cholera, Harare officials. As City of Harare officials admitted complicity in the cholera breakout. And the country has actually recorded a number of cholera cases with some death cases that have been confirmed actually. And we are looking at the cholera outbreak, and since February we have been reporting on it, and this actually came from a report where some of the SADC member states, if I'm to pick on one of those, Malawi, that's where it intensified, and unfortunately the outbreak has been it has been dire, and so government has also been putting in measures to try and contain the outbreak.
Yes, definitely the message is while cholera is rife, we are also very much encouraged as Zimbabweans, and from wherever you're watching us in the world, please just stay safe, stay sanitized, and also wash your hands, as this is actually an outbreak. Not much to do about it, but just to stay safe. And we move on to the Herald, Monica, where there is a new railway line boon for the Zim-Mozambique trade. And this goes as President Emerson Mnangagwa and the Mozambican President Felipe Nyusi read a plaque that was unveiling to mark the official commissioning of the 300-kilometer Beira-Machipanda railway line in Manica, Mozambique. Some interesting developments as we go, and very encouraging to see that the transport and infrastructure sector is also growing, speaking very much to the Vision 2030 alignment that we are tracking as Zimbabweans, Monica.
Indeed, and also trade between Zimbabwe and Mozambique, the bilateral ties have stemmed even through liberation struggle, and the two countries have always cemented those relations, even post-independence for Zimbabwe. So you find that trade between the two countries has over the years grown, and with infrastructure development, issues of transportation become key. And if you are to look at Mozambique, the ports in Mozambique, they also actually play a very big role in terms of that route for goods and services. So a very critical aspect, especially when we're touching on bilateral issues, investment, as well as trade.
Absolutely. And what are we looking at with regards to the Chronicle today, Monica?
Well, that should be probably the last headline that we're looking at in this segment, and it's going to be the crust of the matter in the second segment. And the Chronicle, obviously, Lobola payment optional, and the new Marriage Act. Men can now pay Lobola only.
Most definitely my favorite one.
I saw that coming.
A lot of conversation is going to be had around this headline.
I expected that.
Absolutely, go ahead.
So men can actually pay only if they want to, as a bride price is now a moral decision rather than a mandated legal necessity under the new Marriage Act.
Wow.
Do you have a daughter?
Not yet. I will be looking at taking this time to appreciate everybody who expected me to pay cow money, whatever it is, jewels, diamonds. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I'm now taking the option of no. But anyway, that's all we have with regards to our first segment. Monica, we'll be having more conversation with our very veteran journalist in a studio today. I think Byron has a lot to break down with regards to this headline that you've just had an appreciation of. Please don't go anywhere. This is the headliner.
Welcome back. This is the second segment on the headliner, and if you did miss the first part, well, you're not too late, because the second part is probably going to be even more interesting than ever. So grab a cup of coffee, grab yourself a drink of water. Yes, a cup of water.
Yeah,
say a drink of water.
It's a cup of water. I think you need one right now,
I
because
actually do.
You're lost for words with regards to this particular topic, I think.
It says a lot.
Yes, if you're just joining us, indeed, we were looking at this act, Marriage Act, that was coming from the Chronicle, that was speaking to the Lobola payment being optional. And of course, it was an interesting headline, Monica. And of course, we do have none other than Byron Mutingwende, who's speaking to us today with regards to that. A seasoned journalist who's also going to talk to us about perhaps his view and opinion with regards to everything. Byron, welcome once again to the headliner.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you.
And please do tell us, perhaps as we start off, we kick-start this conversation, what is the significance of this new Marriage Act in relation to Lobola payments?
Yeah, I think this new Marriage Act does not do much in terms of changing what has been existing customarily, because under the customary Marriage Act, we used it to, as Africans, we used it to pay Lobola, that is bride price.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be cattle, it could be money, depending on which family you are marrying into. So it's not it does not bring in new issues. But also in the past, the Civil Marriages Act, which were brought by the whites, did not ask whether one had paid the Lobola
the customary way.
Yeah, the Civil Marriage Act.
Yeah.
Was the Civil Marriage Act.
Yes.
And also that monogamous Marriage Act, the chapter 5.11. Yeah, it did not ask about whether marriage was paid.
So Byron, where are we saying the change is?
Yeah.
Where is the change
now? Is merging these two, the customary and the civil union. But they are merging the two. When we talk about a civil union, it's just two consenting adults now who say we are going to marry. And there are no questions. It's to be asked whether one has paid the Lobola or not. It just depends on the two consenting adults. But if you get married under the Customary Act, you have to pay Lobola, because this Customary Act is also going to be registered. But when the questions will be asked even by the traditional leaders, if you married under the Customary Act and you want that now your marriage to be registered, questions now will be asked whether Lobola was paid under customary. So it's trying to, the new act is trying to merge the two. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it seems that there is a lot of questions and people seem to have more questions than answers with the recent headline itself, and the mere fact that now it's no longer mandatory per se. But let's bring it back. You spoke about custom.
Yes.
And hence why the issue around the impact of this Marriage Act, and especially in terms of it's no longer mandatory to actually pay a bride price. How does the customs, customary practice and even traditional practice come in here? And what impact does it then have, especially when we're looking at traditions and when we're looking at our customs?
No, Minister Ziyambi clarified that issue. There was a widespread celebration.
Yes, absolutely.
Amongst
people like myself,
men.
yes.
Yes. When it was announced that Lobola is no longer mandatory.
Yes.
But the Minister of Justice, Honorable Ziyambi,
what were his words?
Clarified to say no. What this new act does is that it does not take away the customary marriage, but it also includes those civil unions. So this is why there are now new marriage officers who are our chiefs and sabukus under the Customary Act. They are recognized. Those are kangaroo courts, so to speak, matare edu. They're still relevant. And when you get married, it depends whether you started your marriage under civil or under customary.
Yeah.
But when you start it under customary, you still have to pay Lobola to follow the customs.
Yes.
The law does not exist to do away with the customs and traditions.
So those who had particularly just gone through the customary process without the civil process,
yes,
have we nullified those marriages?
No,
Okay.
They are not nullified, but
Okay.
they can still be registered
Okay.
as civil unions.
Oh, are they?
Yes. They are
Okay,
civil
that's fine.
unions,
So,
yes.
can I still go and register my civil union and say I do this today?
Yes.
Can I still go and register my customary union as a legal to be recognized?
Yes,
Okay.
that's very much so. That's what the law permits.
Okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
that's
Because,
what the
well,
law
look,
permits.
the issue of the very, very debatable word, I think, Monica, was optional.
Yes.
And, when we saw that word, we jumped
Like it's
head
no
over
longer
heels.
mandatory.
Yeah, we see all these terms, and look, I mean, we're looking from a moral point of view where all these things should make sense at some point for the everyday Zimbabwean, and I think that's what we're supposed to be doing on the headliner. But we did see a lot of reactions, a lot of stakeholders such as legal experts, traditional leaders, who are also pouring in, as well as members of the community, the everyday community, also giving in their views. But at the same time, we want to have an appreciation of any potential challenges or conflicts that will arise from the coexistence of a traditional Lobola payment and the new Marriage Act.
Yeah, this one.
Where do we see the challenges?
Maybe challenges may arise when people, because in the past there was it was initially chapter 37,
Yes.
which then moved into chapter 5.11 with the monogamous marriage, whereby under that law, chapter 5.11, if you are married under that one, you are not allowed to marry another wife. You are not even when you think of even breaking up, ending the marriage, you could share the marriage equally,
Yes.
the property
equally.
under that marriage
Yes.
equally.
That's if there was no prenup. Yes. Oh, yes.
But now there are clauses to say that if one proves that even under that monogamous marriage, if one
Arrangement, yeah.
proves that he is the one, or he or she is the one who brought a particular material into the marriage, they can even claim right to it without equal sharing.
But all the same, we've been hearing you say monogamous quite a lot
Yes.
in the conversation. Hence why, let's talk about the rights of individuals, the rights of families, being protected, especially when we have amendments to laws. And this particular case, we're talking about the Marriage Act itself. How can individuals be protected? How can families be protected? And saying that there's no mandate to actually pay a bride price, there are other questions that may also be presented in terms of polygamy, for instance. How does this then play out?
Yeah, let's make that make sense, because family is a very important fabric, even in the grand scheme of things when it comes to relationships. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I think what these marriage laws do, they've considered interests of both parties in a marriage. They've considered if you are in a polygamous marriage, for example, you need to share property. The only challenges that arise is to do with property sharing when a marriage
Then
ceases
separates.
to exist.
Yes.
So we need to also follow the customs. Let's take considerations of our customs. What is our customs say? Probably in this marriage, you married your wife. You were supposed to pay 8 cows. But now, halfway down the line, you are no longer interested and you have paid 4. So you have to sit with the family.
What must happen?
Yes, you have to sit with the family and say, maybe this marriage no longer exists. What should we do? What should we do about what is owed the
And
in-laws
what is existing.
family
Yeah.
and what is existing, so that we can find a common ground.
So that's where even those the protection of rights come in.
Yes, that's where the protection of rights come in.
But also,
because even you see in marriage, there are also issues of to do with custody of children, for example.
Absolutely.
All those things, we should consider the rights of the child, the right of the bride, the right of the groom, so that at the end of the day,
everyone's interests are served.
Yes,
Absolutely.
no one is a loser or a winner.
Okay.
Yes.
but then again, let's also bring our attention to the media.
Yes.
You are a journalist and you cover many of these societal issues. Let's also break it down to our viewers, because where does the media come in terms of, unpacking issues around legislature of this nature? And in this case, where this issue was trending this whole week, and it seems to continue to bring some sort of divide in opinion, how does the media actually come in terms of playing their role, ensuring that the public is in the know? They get to appreciate the pieces of legislature, they get to appreciate what is and what is not, and also get to appreciate those rights as well as the other elements with regard to these particular pieces of
and
law.
Monica, let's not
Right.
forget the technical side. The
there is
technical
a-
side
okay.
of all these things. Yeah.
There's an issue that trended in the media recently that caught the attention of the public, the lawmakers, and so forth. This issue whereby it was reported by the media to say that a certain guy paid Lobola to a family of the bride.
Oh yes, I did see that
Right?
one. It was a young man
When
who,
he
who wanted
paid
his
the-
money back
yes,
because someone
yeah,
had cheated.
yes.
Yeah.
So it was reported that when he paid Lobola, for him to wed under the 511, he had to wait until they finish. But then, when he cheated, this one wanted to reclaim the Lobola now. But now this is where now we consider whether the media has to go deeper in terms of unraveling the evidence. Is it true, or it's just mere gossip?
All right.
Yeah, so the media has to go further than just mere reporting, investigative reporting, to lay bare the issues.
Absolutely.
And even that investigative reporting, it also brings to question ethics, because we need to also be ethical in how we report on matters of this nature.
Yes.
How do you then separate your personal opinion,
Exactly.
and rather than
In
being
our
emotional
reportage,
about
Yes, in our
these
reportage,
issues?
we should consider
All right.
the
I think in that response, you'll hold that thought, Mr.
Okay.
Byron. This is
Thank you.
indeed the headliner. We will most definitely be just taking a short break. You can see the studio is getting hot with conversation around Lobola payment. Give us your views, comments, and contributions. If you're in the comment section, don't go anywhere. This is the headliner.
Welcome back. This is the headliner, and this is the third and final segment. We normally call it the editor's choice, but we thought because we have a very burning conversation, why don't we take the editor's choice into that editor's debate, for lack of a better
Fascinating.
word.
I think it is a big debate right now. We are talking all things to do with the New Marriages Act, which is the Lobola, as well as it being optional. I know we had a lot of breaking down, and if you're just joining us, you probably want to hear the most important parts, as everything to do with ethics around this Chronicle headline was being discussed. Monica, I know you had a very burning question to throw at Byron, who joins us. And Byron, thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you, you're welcome.
So even as a recap, for those who may be joining us in the third segment, we are looking at the headline where men are not mandated to actually pay the Lobola price. So of course, men can now pay Lobola only if they want to as bride price. And we did invite Byron. We're speaking of ethics just in the second segment as we were rounding off. So let's continue on that path as we get to appreciate the ethical side to issues of this nature, and journalists being ethical when they are reporting on matters of this magnitude.
Okay, right. As journalists, we need to take into consideration women's rights and children's rights in our reportage. Sometimes our reportage, if we are careless and if we don't take consideration of ethics, may expose children to abuse, even may expose women to abuse. So we need to be very careful in choosing what we report. The law is there to protect all the parties in any union, be it civil, customary, or that monogamous act. But we need also to then take care how then is our image, the image of the person we are reporting about, going to be projected out there. So we need to be very careful in considering the interest of the child, the interest of the husband, the interest of the woman in this marriage, so that our society goes very well. Yes.
But also, with a society having their own expectations of protection of their customs and traditions, let's also talk about issues to do with the bride price itself. Over the years, you know, even with globalization, there has been sentiments to say the bride price itself, the practice itself has become so commercialized, and hence why there is now these heated debates about to pay or not to pay. What's your take to it?
Right. In my opinion, Lobola is good because it is a sign of respect. You are honoring the family that is giving you a bride. But when we take Lobola as a bridge between poverty and riches, we are creating animosity in the future, because the groom who pays a high bride price is going to consider the bride as a commodity. So we need to maybe kind of regulate.
But is that not compensation from all the schooling, all the investment, as well as all the probably necessary funds that have been spent on this particular queen or princess, as they call them, when they're being given off to another family?
It's not a compensation, but it's a way of respect. We have to know that even the groom has also come from a family with its own responsibilities. So what is happening here is just creating a union where a family is going to start. So we need to respect both sides. So it should not be exorbitant, yes.
Okay.
Let's respect the rights from both parties.
So typically, don't we expect a bride price to be paid for the man as well at some point? Monica, I'm just throwing it off script here. I know it's not part of my script, but well, look.
You're taking it too
Maybe
far.
from our culture, the man is the breadwinner,
Yes.
is the head of the family.
Yeah.
So the man is the head of the family. Under our traditions and customs should pay Lobola.
Absolutely.
But quickly, I know that our producers are probably telling us to wind up.
Yeah.
But one
Okay.
quick one. We are in the month of November, and the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence
Yes.
will be kick-starting in a few days. Let's speak to, no to violence. Let's speak to ending gender-based violence in relation to the conversation today, and protecting women, protecting men, and of course, families.
Yes. This is right. In terms of, we are going to commemorate 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And in terms of by gender, we are not looking only at women. We are looking at both men and women.
Men and women.
Yes. So we need to balance the aspects of respect as provided by Lobola on the side of the groom and on the side of
The bride.
The bride. So that what we are creating, marriage is an institution where we find peace, where we find harmony, where we find the unit,
Yes,
the unit and love.
Yeah.
It is these things that will take us forward. So we should not make Lobola an act that divides families, but rather it should unite and promote development, both at the family level, at the local level,
yes.
and national level.
National level. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
Byron, we thank you so much for joining us on the Headliner. Most definitely an insightful, exciting conversation we've been having with you. And we look forward to be having you again.
Thank you very much. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
Monica, of course, it can't be a headliner without us ending with a special message with regards to gender-based violence. We say, let's rally on. It's not just 16 days of activism. It's actually 365, Monica.
Yes, 365 days of the year. Let's protect and let's be our brother and our sister's keeper. We're talking about no to gender-based violence. It is our prerogative that as men, as women, as boys, as girls, we ensure that we have zero tolerance to gender-based violence. And don't forget, on the 25th of November, Orange Your World. How about in commemoration of 16 days of activism? We're orange.
All right.
And let's spread the message.
We're orange, and my name is Kurtley Gwindi.
And my name is Monica Chanda. Until next time, let's keep headlining on The Headliner. Let's keep it real.
Take care.
It's goodbye.